Let's talk about balls. We're moving forward in our series where we're learning why most guys are going to stay stuck on some plateau in life and why a rare few are able to level up. I'm talking about the guys that get stronger and more impactful in every area of their life as they get older. This is all part of the Authority Group Coaching Program that starts in October, and you can learn more by visiting thenewmanpodcast.com. So today we're talking about balls or courage or intestinal fortitude. What do I mean when I talk about a guy with balls or grapes or whatever pair of roundish food objects you prefer? The guy who's lost touch with his huevos is basically seeking comfort at all costs. He wants a free lunch. He's expecting that he can find a way to get what he wants without having to break a sweat or take any risks or face any uncertainty. This is the guy that can't take a punch. He's convinced that if he falls down, that he'll never get back up. He's decided he's not going to take action until he feels confident, as if confidence is going to just fall out of the sky for him. This is the guy that's convinced that his ego fears are life and death. Getting rejected or being criticized or judged has to be avoided at all costs. He's letting his self-image hold him back from expanding into the life he truly wants. And unfortunately, this desire for the illusion of control, safety, and comfort is a breeding ground for anxiety and low self-esteem. Now, if we flip it around, the guy who remembers his cojones understands that everything he wants is on the other side of his comfort zone. This guy expects things to be challenging and scary at times because it's part of the growth process. He understands that moving into the things that scare him is what actually makes him stronger. He knows that building a life where he's constantly avoiding discomfort is what makes him fragile and weak. He knows that confidence is a product of taking risks and learning from experience. He remembers that he's taken punches in the past. He's fallen down before, and he was able to pick himself back up. He understands that most of the time his, quote, terror is usually just ego-related. Who he is as a human being is not in any real life or death danger, even though his ego is telling him otherwise. Bottom line, this guy expects fear to show up and does what needs to be done, even though he's scared. Let's put this in perspective, okay? Most of the time when I'm talking with someone and they're telling me they're scared to do X, Y, Z in their life, I believe them. Sometimes they tell me they're terrified. I've felt the same way. And what I found to be really helpful is to remember that A, we may be scared, but we're not in any real life or death danger. And B, most of the time, if the shit were to really hit the fan, we'd be able to recover pretty quickly. In most cases, when I help this guy identify the true threat, the image we get is that he's on some kind of a balance beam, but it's only a foot off the ground. Sure, he may fall and he doesn't want to fall, but if he did, he'd be able to get back up pretty easily. And yet, most guys will go through their entire lives, or they'll spend years of their lives avoiding that possibility of falling a mere foot. I think it's important for us to understand what real fear and real danger is. Years ago, I was watching a documentary where these cameramen followed some firefighters into the World Trade Center on September 11th. These people had been justifiably celebrated as heroes, but I think in some ways that makes them seem like superheroes, like they were somehow immune to fear. But in this program, the camera was there as these men were in the lobby of one of the towers as they started to walk up the stairs, and I could see the looks on their faces. There was no action movie bullshit bravado. There was no total confidence or certainty. These guys were justifiably scared, and they went up those stairs anyway. That was life and death. What most of us are talking about creating with our lives is not life and death. So let's stop acting like we're going to die if we take a risk with our egos or a few bucks. Let's stop believing this bullshit story that our mind uses to keep us paralyzed in fear. I say let's because this affects me too. It's one of the reasons I'm working with my current coach, Phil Stutz. Even after years of doing this work, I could see where I was still holding back because I was afraid of something on an ego level. Left alone, I'm able to bullshit myself and make excuses. But putting this stuff out in the open with someone else helps me see what's holding me back. I'm able to make a better decision. Do I want to look back on my life and feel regret because I was afraid to get my feelings hurt? Or do I face my fears and go for what I really want, even though it feels risky? Through this work, I'm learning again and again that we, all of us, we get stronger when we confront the things that scare us. There are no free lunches. There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. Now, this is one of the core elements of my Authority Group Coaching Program. It's designed to help you get clarity on the things you're wanting and then feel the excitement, power, and relief that comes from moving through your comfort zone. As a group, we'll be learning how to be more bold together and actually have fun as we grow beyond our current situation. There's only 6 total seats available in the group. If you'd like to learn more about how to claim one for yourself, then simply go to thenewmanpodcast.com and click on the red banner that'll tell you what to do next. Here's to remembering you got balls or huevos, cojones, whatever. Here's to remembering that we can take a punch and get back up if we're knocked down. Here's to remembering that we feel most alive and free and powerful when we feel the fear and do it anyway. Thanks for listening.